Hey guys, I just want to warn you ahead of time. We had some audio difficulties on this recording. There were some bandwidth limitations, and I ended up cutting this short. The whole interview, we just kind of cut it short at around an hour. It's not fair to you guys to have all of these audio quality issues. I'm really sorry about this. Do watch and listen to this podcast episode, because there really are some great nuggets of information here from Adam. I've already got another interview scheduled with Adam later this month in May of 2020. So he's going to come back and we're going to continue our conversation. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Adam, how is it going, sir?
It's going awesome. Really excited to be here on this episode with you. It's awesome.
That's awesome, man. So I think you and I both have the COVID hair going strong.
Absolutely. Hair, beard, I actually decided to let it all grow out. So well, I'm good. And I like, I'm going Matthew McConaughey right here. I'm going to get a little curly.
You make it look a lot better than I do. So I tried trimming my beard and then like reshaping it, and I screwed it up, and I went in too deep with the trimmer. I was like, oh. So I was like, the only thing left to do at this point is just took it. So I took everything off but the goatee, and you see I'm like, it's coming back. You know, it's and then when it's this short, you can start to see like I've got patches where it looks like I don't have hair, but it's actually I've got like patches of like blonde and red. I've got all kinds of colors happening in my beard, man. So, awesome. And then like I don't know how to blend properly, so it's just like stops.
All good.
I usually have the lady that does my hair. She usually takes care of all this for me, man. I'm not a real man. I have people.
It's all good. Exactly. Yeah. I used to go get a haircut and everything, and so it's different nowadays.
It really is. So where are you located at, Adam?
I'm located in Fresno, California, right in the center of the state. An hour from the snow and 2 hours from the beach.
So, oh man, I've got a story for you. So, a couple of years after my wife and I got married, some really good friends of ours at the time, and we barely hear from them now. You know, they moved, but they were Indian. Well, they still are. They're Indian, not like Native Indian, not Native American. I mean the country Indian. So they had their wedding in India, and then they had why can't I think of the word? The thing that happens at the party. What? Reception. The reception. They had the reception in California, and they had it in Fresno. And at the time, I was a big proponent of timeshares. So I had, oh boy. So I had a Wyndham timeshare, and I saw that they had a timeshare resort about an hour north of Fresno. Now, I know you want to chime in and be like, whoa. So just let me keep going with this. So we stayed at this nice timeshare, and I'm talking like I'm pretty sure it was directly north, and you know what's directly north.
Not a whole lot.
But other people don't. Okay, so you know I'm checking the weather, and it was March, so we did a reception in March, and it was like beautiful 60s, 70s, sunny California. So we packed for beautiful sunny California. We flew into San Jose because we got a super cheap flight. And so then we got a rental car, and we drove from San Jose. Gosh, what is that? Like 4 hours, 6? It was long. It felt like forever. Going from San Jose all the way over to Fresno. But not Fresno. We were going north of Fresno. So we stayed at the Wyndham Resort that was in the Sierra Nevada Forest, I believe it's called, and it was just outside of, what was that? Is that Yellowstone?
Yosemite National Park.
It's Yosemite. Yeah, it was a Y.
National Park, yeah.
So we're staying in a national park. No big deal. That sounds beautiful, right? But here's what we from Ohio, a nice, just flat area, thanks to that glacier 18 million years ago. Here's what we don't understand. We don't understand elevation. Okay? So we packed for Fresno weather. So, 60s, 70s, beautiful in March. But we were, what is that, like 1,000 feet up? Which doesn't sound like much, but apparently that's a lot. And so we had to leave the reception early to get back to the resort before the blizzard came. No joke, Adam. No joke. So we had a blizzard. So we got back. My wife is driving because she hates how I drive in snowstorms. So she's driving, and like a good stretch of this road is like cliff. And if it's not, it seems that way at 10 o'clock at night in the middle of a blizzard. Okay. So yeah. We're going around this twisty, turny road up into the forest. We're going to. I'm gonna actually Google it real quick. Wyndham Resort Yosemite, just because I'm dying to remember the name of the resort, so you guys can look it up and laugh at me. And I'm not gonna find it, am I?
Awani?
It might be.
Is usually pretty common.
I'm thinking it's the Worldmark Bass Lake.
Oh, it's Tenaya Lodge.
What was that?
It's Tenaya Lodge is the big resort up there.
I'm thinking it's the Wyndham Resort at Bass Lake. Because, this I'm pretty sure is it. Because it was like condos or townhomes that we were staying in.
It is, yeah.
So I swear, Adam, I swear my wife was like trying to give me a heart attack, man. Because I felt like every time we turned the car, I could feel it like sliding on the road. We had a car from San Jose, Adam. It doesn't have like all season tires on it. We're riding like, summer tires or whatever they put on tires out there in your freaking state. I'm giving myself a panic attack just thinking about this event that transpired years ago. Okay, so then we finally get there, and we're like, okay, we'll go to bed, and the freaking power goes out.
Ugh.
So the power goes out, and we're in like a condo where nobody else is at. Like it's us and like 3 other families in this whole resort, okay? So we're in a condo in the middle of the woods. The power's out, and I just start hearing this banjo in the back of my mind, like do 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 do. So then my wife and I were like, oh, what do we do? So I think we did like the pull-out couch or something downstairs with the fireplace, and and it was one of those really nice gas fireplaces. Made the whole house smell like gas, which inevitably smelled like danger to me because I don't like when I smell that propane or gas, whatever that chemical is they put in the gas. Yeah. That's what I was smelling. So that's my experience with Fresno. I called Wyndham up the next morning, and the next morning I woke up. There was 22 inches of snow that had fallen overnight. Oh, wow. I'm not kidding. Like I'd have to look. I could find pictures, Adam, and there was like this much snow on the top of the fence out of our window. Like I have never seen that much snow in my life. And I'm from Ohio, man. We've got that like lake effect snow thing coming from Lake Erie.
Yeah.
I have never The difference is, for those of you that are familiar with Ohio, like northeast Ohio, like east of Cleveland, that's where they get the really bad snow. They'll get, 18 feet of snow overnight or something stupid, But we get like 6 inches, 8 inches. And then they still have school because we're from Ohio. Why wouldn't we have school? But nobody. So we called and we were like, we need to leave. And Wyndham was like, but you booked it for a whole week. I'm like, well, you better change it to somewhere else because this is you don't have power, and I'm in the middle of 2 feet of snow. So like, after a bunch of arguing, they finally let us just move to San Francisco, which was an amazing experience being in San Francisco. But getting to San Francisco was an adventure all in itself because we had to dig our car out of the snow. Like, our car also had 2 feet of snow on and around it. The car was like, you couldn't find the car, Adam. It was insane.
It can get that way. Oh yeah, it can get that way.
So then we finally dig the car out. That probably took us an hour and a half, 2 hours to dig the car out. And then we get on the road. Now, again, for people that are not familiar with California, I wasn't. If you don't have snow tires, like up in the mountains up there, you are required to drive with like chains on your tires. And if you don't have the chains and you get pulled over, they'll give you like a crazy $5,000 fine or something like that. But we had a rental car. We didn't have chains. You could rent chains though. Guess where the chains were at? The bottom of the freaking hill. So we said F it. We chanced it. We drove. My wife gave me 18 heart attacks on the way down, like, because there was no internet at this place either. Like, it was in the middle of nowhere. There's no internet.
Very rural, yeah, for sure.
I felt like I was in a weird like video of Africa with like that sad music in the background. Like that's what that place was like to me. Was it Sarah McLachlan? I had that in the background the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
So on the way down, we drive past an internet cafe. I'm like, these things exist. So we finally got so we finally got out of the mountains, and it was so weird. Like looking in the rearview mirror, a few miles through it, you were able to see like the very visible line of where blizzard no longer was happening and beautiful sun. It was so weird. It was surreal to me, man. And then, driving through California to get over to San Francisco, we're driving by all these farms, and there's like beautiful cliffs with like, I don't know if they were goats or cows or whatever, but there's like, they're like up in the middle of the cliff. They're just hanging out on a cliff. And then we pass all these windmill farms with the power, the wind power stuff. And then we got into San Francisco. And let me tell you, that is, we had to get rid of the car. I couldn't drive there. And I was like 150 pounds less at that point. So, I was cool, like walking up and down the hills. We took taxis. But man, San Francisco was a trip, man. All the homeless people, and then the people that like are actors, and they like scare you, and then you have to pay them for scaring you. Like that's a whole nother place too. But Fresno was cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, live, an hour from the snow and 2 hours from the beach. So yeah, right in the middle of the state. I love it here.
It is California really does have so much to offer, man. It's got something for everyone. You know, if you like snow, they've got plenty of that up north. If you like if you like the beach, they've got that. If you like living in the middle of nowhere with, goats and windmills, they got that. Like it was just so cool seeing like, when I think of California, my only thought of California is what I see in the movies, which is like, mean streets of LA, like that's
Yeah,
just I
no,
assume all of California is
definitely.
that. And apparently it's not.
Oh
It
yeah,
was a really beautiful
mountains and
place.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's why we love our name, Sierra Pacific Consulting. It's like Sierras are the mountains. We love the mountains, but we also love the Pacific Ocean. Kind of marries those two perfectly. So it's kind of our
So I
core. We
know
love being outside, but we also love enjoying the ocean and all that stuff.
I know I had you on before. It's been a while. But I'm pretty sure I had you on before back when it was MSP webinars. Talk to me, man. What exactly is Sierra Pacific doing these days?
Yeah, so we do ConnectWise consulting, but it's more than just that. We teach, consult, and implement industry proven best practices, strategies to help you master your sales, right? In order to bring in that new revenue for your business. We help services organizations really on the service delivery in order to provide clients with what they need at the right time, right? So we help on the services consulting side. And then at the end of the day, we help streamline the finance in order to kind of grow and scale your MSP, IT and MSP business. You have to know where your numbers are in order to grow and scale. So really, it's all around those three cores: sales, service, finance. And so we offer marketing services, accounting services, consulting services, service operations, EOS implementation. But every one of our clients does have ConnectWise, and so we use ConnectWise as that foundation, that platform. So we love the tool. It's a great relationship we have. Not everybody has a great relationship with ConnectWise, and I'm sure that some of those topics we'll talk about today. But yeah, we are Advantage partners as well with ConnectWise. So we actually do implementations for ConnectWise and give that real world results and best practice. There's the hypotheticals, and then there's the real world delivery and execution on it, right? So we kind of marry those two perfectly.
That's really cool, man. So, um, with ConnectWise, you said that you're an Advantage partner and you can do the implementations. I know ConnectWise has like these, crazy implementation fees that you can't get out of. And a lot of MSPs, balk at them, especially because a lot of MSPs, in their opinion, ConnectWise isn't going to do very much for you to implement things. So with the implementation, are you able to tell ConnectWise, all right, well, fine, I'll pay you the implementation fee, but Adam over at Sierra Pacific's going to be the one doing it, not you guys.
That's
Is that how that
exactly what
works?
we do. So basically, you tell ConnectWise, listen, they're a software company, but they also need to have proper implementation. There's a reason why ConnectWise charges an implementation fee, because it needs to make sure you properly implement your business. And it needs to be done right. And so you can balk at those implementation fees, but it is a tool that's going to be forever in your business. It is the foundation to everything you do in your organization, from sales, service, and finance. Yes, I have all these things to plug into it to enhance the platform, to make it really cool and configured for my business. But you need to do that implementation. You need to do that time investment. It's really important. And so what ConnectWise has done over the past 2 years, so we've been involved in the Partner Advantage program with ConnectWise for about 2 years now. And what they've done is said, what, we don't no longer want to do implementations. We want to actually rely on companies like Sierra Pacific Consulting to do that implementation, because they have those real world consultants. I have a team of 14 people here, all around those three kind of areas: sales, service, finance. So we have expertise to be able to walk through the things that you're struggling with in every single module, teach you, give you that real world. And that's something that, ConnectWise is over 2,000 employees. They do a lot of implementations themselves, and it's just got overwhelming overwhelming for them to be able to handle that, but also keep up with what's happening out there in the marketplace. So quite often, this is what we hear is implementations from ConnectWise. When people do buy it and they get it done directly with ConnectWise, it's really a help desk person they feel is kind of doing the implementation, right? Because they have their structure where they, hey, you're starting a help desk, and then in a year you'll be, helping do implementations. Well, they didn't have any real world MSP experience, so every one of our team members has that real world experience to be able to deliver an amazing platform and really keep people on the platform, but also have the platform so it grows and scales with their business.
That's really cool. So, if I'm understanding correctly, ConnectWise won't do an implementation for people anymore. They're outsourcing all of them to guys like you.
It depends on the level of implementation you do. So they do have different tiers of implementation. And so right now, the gold level implementation, which is the basic implementation package you can buy today, is outsourced to partner advantage partners like myself. So it's one of a very select few handful of companies.
That is really fantastic, man. So, with people that have you do the implementation, what kind of advantages are they going to have with their ConnectWise, and their whole ConnectWise experience? I guess I should really say.
The advantage of having us do the implementation and the experience, is that kind of the question?
Yeah, like what can they expect when you guys do the implementation versus maybe them doing a lower tier?
For sure, yeah, absolutely. So the implementation experience are different. There's a big difference when we do the implementation. We do implementation for manage, sell, and automate, all three of their platforms, major platforms. They have all these other plugins, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do, when you work with us, we take you through a very specific process. We understand your business. It's a fit to business. I know the MSP space. I know the IT space. I've been in it for literally almost 20 years now. And, you might be an AV partner. You might be a security access control partner, a backup specific partner. And so there's various different types of businesses. I even do implementations for banks that have ConnectWise. Yeah, I know people are scratching it. It's not a financial platform. Their IT departments buy it directly through ConnectWise, and we do implementation. And so, what you get with us is the experience on each individual module. We have been using ConnectWise in our business since 2006. So we're a very early adopter of ConnectWise. We've been using it for the past 14 years, and experience is amazing. So this process which you walk through, the fit to business, the teaching and educating you is really important. Every one of our consultants is a teacher, a coach, to show you the platform, have you understand the platform, making the best decision for your business, not just telling you, yeah, you can do it this way, yeah, you can do it that way, and not giving you, do it this way because of this, this, and this. We give you the reasons why, the hows, the whys, and what, right? And so that's really important to combine all those pieces. So it's really our kind of proven process, plus the methodology has been proven over and over and over. We do over 30 implementations a month. And at any one given time, we have 60, 70 implementations going on simultaneously. And we want to be the industry's most loved, admired, and tech savvy consulting company in the marketplace. That is our mission. We take anybody's ideas and really translate them to great success. And it's right here, written, our mission, our vision. We're all in line, every single one of my consultants. So no idea is bad, right? We just want to refine it and build it out and make sure it's actually executing properly. Make sure ConnectWise is the right tool for you. I don't care what platform your business is on. I love ConnectWise. I want to make sure ConnectWise is fit for your business. So there's some situations where it's like, time out here, this ConnectWise platform it's just not for your business. We feel it can be right for your business, but the way you want to use it, and you're not, might not be mature enough for it, or it's just not ready or not yet. You might be running a retail store. You might be looking for a POS system or something like that. I feel it can fit, and we can make it mold. But some situations you need to, look for other site platforms.
That's really awesome that you will actually, I don't even know the right word for it, but you're going to make sure you take care of your people, man. Um, and that's not something that you see a lot these days. Is when you're saying that you're going to make sure that they're a good fit, and maybe they're just not mature enough for it, like the fact that you do that is you're just like a stand-up guy, if when I hear you doing that. And I think right now you're doing some really cool stuff for the channel right now because it's the end of April 2020. We've got this kind of pandemic. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. But it's called COVID-19.
Let's go back to the original. Let's call it coronavirus, okay? That was cooler.
Yeah. I've been
maybe Corona.
I've been calling it the Rona. So,
Yeah. So yeah, with the virus stuff, yeah, it's we've been doing some really cool things. So I do run the Connect Boss Facebook group. It's hashtag CWBoss, and so we have 1,000+ members in there. We over the past month and a half, 2 months, we've been just doing social hours Tuesday at 6 p.m. Really, it's just to kick back, relax, enjoy a few drinks, and enjoy each other's company. We do bring in guest speakers and leaders from other markets to understand their perspective. Because at the end of the day, this is a very short, hopefully, very short window, right? Economy's kind of feeling like it's going to start back up and everything. It's really a shock to the system, pretty big shock to the system. And I want to lead through this, right? I want to make sure I'm here as a solid source of, helping, quality relationships is one of our really big foundational values in our organization. So, if you're struggling with something, if you're, really this virus is affecting your business is reduced by 30%. I can do a mindset. I have no problem giving away a little bit of my time because it's a very short window, that we're kind of going through this. So our own business dropped about 30% in revenue in the month of March. I'm not one to shy away from numbers and sharing it. But I will say we've doubled our business in the month of April, and we are on track to double our business in the month of May. Part of that is because a lot of IT companies and technology companies are through that initial fire. You understand where your business is at really when you go through that fire. Every one of your customers within a single week or 2 weeks calling you, hey, I need to move my team to remote. Hey, I need to, get this computer for this person at this house. Hey, by the way, I need webcams, I need microphones, I need all these things. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I need. And that was, a 3-week window where it's like, everybody slammed. So of course, consulting gets contracted, right? Because we're trying to help implement processes and build that stuff out for everybody. So we get kind of put on the back burner because you guys have to focus on your fire, right? So now we're kind of on the back side of that where it's like, okay, I went through this. I don't want to experience it again. I want to be able to have this scalability. And that's where we really, help out. Our second kind of core value is, we're very process obsessed, where, we want to make sure there's a process for anything and everything in your business, from implementing ConnectWise to onboarding a new client to, integrating other applications into ConnectWise. So you don't have to go through that fire, if you will. So hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Yeah. So how do people find this thing that you're doing right now, the happy hour?
Yeah, awesome. So there is a ConnectWise Boss Facebook group. You can jump in if you just search in Facebook. You can search for ConnectWise Boss or hashtag CWBoss, or just go to cwboss.com on Face, and it just goes right to the Facebook page. You can join the group. It's completely free. I do live webinars and workshops in there on a weekly basis, teaching things here and there, sales, service. Obviously during this virus, there's been a little bit less of that going on because we did kick in happy hour on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And really, we don't record, we don't stream our happy hours because we want to have confidentiality. We have that quality relationship. Like we'll have 30 people on those things, and or sometimes more than that, and we have respect for privacy. You guys, we want a real genuine quality. It's really difficult to be really genuine, really high quality if you're streaming and recording, and just some people's mindsets feel a little reserved if they know that's happening, right? And so getting over that hump is pretty big. So we determined, we're not going to record it. And so that's why you don't really see posting of it, because we really want genuine quality relationships within that group. Because I'm here, people are struggling. People are going through and fighting, this whole financial side of the PPP, the EIDL, what to do, how to use it. Who knows who's even getting that stuff, so we're here to kind of help through that. So, we help with the what ifs and those type of things.
That's really awesome of you, man. I know I applied for PPP and EIDL myself. EIDL, I don't know what the deal is with that. I applied. I haven't heard a thing. I said, yes, I want my $10,000 advance, and haven't heard a thing. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah. So, EIDL, I was application number 3,515 because I applied first, and then they're like, okay, well, you have to apply again. And I'm like, what? And then suddenly my first application, because I guess it's incrementing application numbers, and so you kind of know where you're at in the line because it's first come first served basis. So in the country app, business number 3,500, and it took 2.5 weeks before I even saw a dime from EIDL, and they just deposited money in my account. I'm like, oh, what's this extra money in here? No discussion of like, okay, what do you need? Where's your financials? Those type of things. And it's like, it's a big struggle for the government. I'm a big believer in small government, and this is one of the reasons. Is like, it's this big bureaucracy, and it needs to be run like a business. And any business, any financial institution that was like working like that, they wouldn't have my business. So, but it's hard, right? Once again, just like IT space where, everybody's requesting all these things from you in a short period of time, the government's getting hundreds of thousands of applications. They have to scale up themselves as well. So I do have compassion for them a little bit, because I understand the back end that needs to happen. I think in politicians, you always seem to overpromise and underdeliver. And that's what our politicians are doing today. Hey, you'll get your money in 3 days. It's guaranteed. What? It's been 2.5 weeks, right?
It's been 3 days, and then 3 more days, and then 3 more days. So my application date looks like the 30th of March. Maybe the 29th. I'm not really sure. Maybe the 31st. I see an expiration date here, so that's why I'm making an assumption on when I did it. No, it looks like maybe I did it April 3rd. Who knows? Whatever. My application number, I just assume that the application number is like what you were talking about. You said you were 3,000 whatever. My application number looks like a phone number, Adam. It is an area code, 3 more numbers, and then 4 numbers. So if my application...
Yeah, the last 4, yeah.
So does this mean I'm the 3 billionth person to submit this application?
No, because I know, because when I did reapply, I had the same beginning number, but then my end number was really long. So it's whatever that end number is kind of like what you are in the queue. Because I know I relatively got mine. Yeah, it took 2 weeks, but there was zero communication on that. And it's very difficult to run a business. And like I said, I had very big contraction, and I was worried for sure. But you know what? I can't be controlled by fear. And,
right.
That's the biggest thing.
Right.
That you have to learn is this is a very short thing. You have to expect a little, retraction in your business, and expect, I want to keep my team together. I'm working my butt off to make sure that happens, right? I love our family of employees that we have and the team that we've built. No other company is as strong as we are in the ConnectWise consulting space. Absolutely none. And once again, I go back to my initial vision and our mission and what we're here, and every one of that cores, and it's just there's nothing fear driven in there, and so that's why I wanted to lead this whole pandemic and just do these group things, and other people are doing it as well. So it's really exciting. I love the way the IT space is responding here.
Me too. It's like we're all coming together.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing seeing it. So for sure.
So okay. So if we're gonna do it based off the first numbers that are all the same, we can just throw away. I'm 1.9 million.
Yeah, probably.
Because I did 2 applications because I wasn't sure. I've got 2 companies. And then the other one's 2.9 million because that one I did a few days later. So we'll see. I'm not expecting anything to come of any of this. I tried doing the PPP, and I really wasn't I didn't care enough to really put too much time and effort into it. Sole proprietor. I have an LLC filing as a sole prop, So I just said, here's my taxes, That's all I gave them as far as, proof of income. And they were like, denied. And they just kept moving because they don't even care to ask me for additional paperwork. They're like so inundated. And I went through Chase. They're just so inundated with applications because they said they had 100,000 applications ahead of mine when I initially.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I did the first application was 3,515. So it's like 3.6 and then it's 4 zeros and 3,515. Then they sent an email saying, hey, go apply again if you think you might have selected something. So I was like, all right, let me go double check. And so I reapplied again. Yeah, and that application was like 821,000 PQs. I'm like, wow, I was really in there. I was a pioneer of the system, right?
Holy moly.
In the country. And so, I imagine, but once again, I can't even go look you can't even call. You can't even, it's like getting through is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, I feel for those businesses, that are really struggling, the food industry, the hair styling, haircut industry. And, I have contacts with some really great, amazing coaches in those other industries, and doing some really incredible things. So people are kind of shifting their mind, and, barbers, hairstylists are doing webinar one-on-one like this and teaching people how to cut their hair themselves. I would never personally do it, but it's, there's a certain, I know my fiance, Nicole, nails and, getting her nails done. It's like, she doesn't feel, like herself, right? Because all these things that we get are served for us, it's like I don't know, it's kind of weird. So, a lot of people are making that shift, right? To kind of do things remotely. So I don't know what the end result is of this. Is everybody gonna start working remote now? And, because you're kind of forced into it. I know a lot of people that we've talked to prior to this would, my engineers, they'll never work from home, right? Kind of bring it back to the IT space. Well, now they're forced into it. Now you have to work from home. And so what numbers are you looking at? What are you looking at utilization? Or what are they doing during the day? Is it timesheets? I don't want to keep a micro pulse on them, but I want to keep, my high level KPIs, because I want to make sure if I'm paying them this salary, I want to make sure they're still getting work from home rather than sitting around, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. People that have a PSA, preferably ConnectWise, if it's you talking, right? People that have a PSA, what should they be looking at? What kind of reports can they be running, or dashboards can they be setting up, just to make sure that their team are getting the work done that needs to be done, and that they're getting their money's worth out of their employees? Because I get that right now we had that surge for a few weeks of we need to get webcams and laptops and whatever else, right? And depending on what types of clients you have, you're either really lucky and you've got a bunch of clients that were essential enough that they kept running, even if from home.
Yeah.
Or you're really unlucky and you've got a bunch of clients that weren't essential and they shut down and laid everyone off. Or maybe you're in the middle, which is what a lot of MSPs are, I suspect. So if you're now in like that lull of we don't really have a whole bunch of tickets coming in, how do you check and verify that what little bit that is coming in is getting done, and that things that are not necessarily customer facing tickets are also getting done?
Sure. Yeah. So there's a couple different things you're kind of talking about. And so one, let's break it down a little bit. So you have manage the employee remotely, right? You want to make sure that they're doing certain things or certain tasks and making sure they're being accomplished. This is where your service boards need to set up, your statuses need to be set up, your workflow rules need to be all set up appropriately. But also you need to run reports every so often. So what reports are they? Utilization reports are really critical. Hey, here's how much time we're putting in, and here's how much is billable versus non-billable. That is really, really critical. So you should be running that on a weekly basis. You should be running it every Tuesday or the week prior to make sure you're, once timesheets are approved, everything's in. That's one report. Right now, the other
real quick, I just want to chime in real quick. And you're doing that on Tuesday because that's assuming on Monday you're going to have the guys who were slacking and they're going to get all their time in real quick from last week.
So yes. So a couple of things there. So we have a very structured process of time submitting. So every employee should be submitting their timesheet by end of day Friday. And it's set for on-call. On-call can be technicians or engineers that are on call over the weekend. They submit their timesheets Monday morning. When you do that, then Monday is being used for basically your time approval day, where you're approving all the timesheets, reviewing them, making sure they're all in line. So by the end of running that report, your timesheets are all approved. You can see exactly, hey, here's my utilization for the prior week because I reviewed this time. And then the other report you run is the agreement gross profitability report, which you should generally be running at least at minimum once a month. But some companies do like to run it bi-weekly, so every other timesheet, just to see where they're trending for agreement gross profitability. So one thing that did hurt a lot is these flat rate agreements that don't do this. Suddenly now, every one of your clients is contacting you to do all this work, and yet you're flat rate, so you're not earning any extra money. We love flat rate agreements. It's really what everybody tries to go for. But in situations like this, where it was just suddenly a catastrophic, and so your margins were very thin, and if not, you lost a lot of money for clients. But once again, it's a short-term thing. What would be horrible is if you did all this work for a client and you also reduce the agreement or cancel it altogether, and that does happen. So you need to make sure you obviously maintain revenue and profitability going through this is really super important. So have that plan. What administrative expenses can you cut back to keep your team members? What tools can you leverage? I know we love BrightGauge. BrightGauge was acquired by ConnectWise. And so there's, making sure your dashboards are all dialed in. We call those scorecards in our business. And so we build out scorecards for every department. And what we're measuring there is really super important. Time, agreement gross profitability, revenue, total MRR, and then we have MRR based on your accounting or marketing or your product lines, right? To kind of measure those different things, what your pipeline look like. One thing we're seeing right now is there's not a whole lot of project work going on. It's all that reoccurring stuff that's happening. So they want support services. So nobody's buying those $100,000, $200,000 dollar projects. So that's kind of dried up right now, and so they're kind of maintaining retracting just a little bit. And and you have to understand that. And so you still can be doing things for clients, to get back on track. You can be, quarterly business reviews is really super important. Hey, let's create a plan for you. This is a stressful time. I'll use this example. Best Buy. It is a non-essential store, right? It's electronics. It is closed.
Well, I mean, it's essential. Everyone gets their webcams and microphones from somewhere.
Very, very true. I completely understand, but it's not a grocery store. Food. The last place I'll go is to a Best Buy.
I got to tell you, I've been shopping at Best Buy more in the last 2 weeks than I've shopped there in 10 years.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. And I have too. Now, here's the thing. They actually had a disaster plan in place. Their store is actually closed. But what's nice, you drive and you can park right in front of the store. An employee comes out, see your car, sees what you need, takes an ID, and goes and grabs your product and walks it back in. To me, that is a disaster plan that they've come up with in this little short window. It's actually really amazing. They made that shift. Now, I think, Target, they've done some of this. They're starting to do this in local Targets where you have that drive up and you're in the kiosk and they come walk out with your order and all that stuff. So they're kind of adapting on that. But I love this because, at the end of the day, people do need their electronics, but they can't have that public traffic. So they made that little shift. So what shift are you making in your IT business to kind of, adapt some of these now new working environments? That's really key to make sure you're on top of that. So we like doing that with those quarterly business review meetings. So making sure you have that relationship, having a one-on-one with your client, not just, the admin assistant, but the owner, relate with them, talk with them, and understand how this really affected them. Are all their doors closed? Okay, well, what can you do to reopen? What technology can you use to help reopen? Is there a mobile app you can start doing? Right now, thank God for Uber Eats, DoorDash. What's the grocery stuff that's nowadays that you can just
Shipped is one of them. Yeah,
that's going bonkers right now, right? Nobody wants to leave their house, and so a lot of those applications that have kind of forethought this. So that's what I challenge MSP and IT is kind of go to their client and really engage. What really happened with them? How can we help solve some of these problems with technology? Because now more than ever, they need our help more than ever. So how you're marketing, helping your clients change their marketing to some degree. We had, now we've had changed 3 different messages. Now we have a different one now because we're kind of coming out or reopening or re-engaging. So even my marketing is shifted, like messaging from 2 months ago to now is significantly different.
Sure.
And IT owners need to understand that they need to make that same shift. So you really have to have that visionary role dialed in your business. The visionary is kind of looking out in front, right? So long answer, that's kind of what you should be doing and what you should be looking at.
So the one thing there's 2 things that I would say. One, you should be looking at that list of essential businesses and figure out a way to just reach out to those people. I'm not expecting you to sell anything to them right now because, let's be honest, they're probably holding on to their wallets pretty tightly. But just reach out. Hey, I'm down the road and I just figure a lot has changed. How's everything going over there? Check in, do a wellness call because you can't do a wellness visit. Just reach out and just talk to them and see how they're doing, and start building relationships with some of these local businesses to you that are essential businesses. Because let's be honest, guys. The world has kind of set the precedent of, for some of you guys that are totally against what we're doing right now with the quarantining, some of you guys are like, oh great, anytime there's a little flu or cold going around, we're gonna have to quarantine all the world again, And then there's other people that are totally for the quarantining, like, oh man, we should just stay like this forever because germs. And so no matter who you are, I think you should realize that this has set a new precedent for the world. And, this isn't the only time that I think we're going to experience this in our lifetime. I think we're going to end up quarantining again in our lifetime. I think it might, and I hope I'm wrong, I think it might become more common for the world to shut down like this over a disease. Now that the world has seen it can survive, I think the world's going to try and figure out how to do this more. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not trying to have a political debate with people about it. I'm just simply saying that don't be shocked if it happens again. So start establishing relationships with essential businesses now. Another thing you should do is sit down with your non-essential clients and help them come up with creative ways that they can be the Best Buys of the world. You know, Best Buy's closed. Like you said, Adam, we're not allowed in Best Buy. You know, they're closed to us shoppers, you know. So like you said, we have to drive up, park in front of the front door. We have to sit there for, 10 minutes. We already placed the order online. They'll have it ready in an hour. So, you place the order, you start driving, you get to Best Buy, you hang out for a minute, and you pick up your stuff and go. And it's great because now I don't have to go in Best Buy and look at all the fun things I want and buy more crap than I was actually there to go for. I mean, it's genius. Obviously, this is not sustainable for Best Buy. I'm sure they're not making as much as they would be if they were just open. But because they're able to do this, they're not fully shut down, bleeding money. So I think that's definitely the first thing that you should be doing is, getting to know people, start having conversations and building relationships with essential businesses, even ones that aren't your clients. Have conversations with the clients that are not essential and figure out how to help them be the Best Buys of the world. And then the other thing I really think people should do right now is, if you're slow, you should have a nest egg. A good business owner has a boatload of savings to where the business can float for a few months if there's an issue. That's what I'm told. I'm not saying I'm a good business owner, but I'm told that. So the thing I would say is if you were in a position to build up that nest egg and put, 5 figures in a bank somewhere, so that way you've got the ability to float, now is the perfect time to keep your employees on board and have them work on continuous improvement for your company. I'm not saying don't go out and hire Adam from CR Pacific, because they're going to do a bang-up job. Good thing, not bad thing. They're going to do an amazing job on setting up your ConnectWise, right?
Yeah.
But, have someone, if you're the kind of MSP where you've got inventory, have someone go into the office for a few hours and take inventory and maybe tidy up the shelves a bit. Have somebody go and review your tickets and make a list of all the tickets that they see happening a lot. And it would be just super dandy if either if they're noise, figure out how to clean up the noise from an RMM, or B, figure out how to automate some of these things, build some scripts to just fix the problem, so that way you don't have to keep fixing these tickets. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you should be working on right now. Documentation, get that stuff out of your head and onto some paper or notes or whatever. Don't use the sticky notes app on your computer. That's a terrible idea for documentation. But you know what I mean. Like, Adam, what else should people be working on right now if they're slow as an MSP owner?
Yeah, if they're slow, focus on your core business itself. Redefine your, values. Look at your values. Look at your mission. What are you doing in your community? What do you stand for? The processes, the tools that you're using. That's what we really want to coach people on. And it might be a time to change to ConnectWise or away from ConnectWise, or you reevaluate those things. And so, one of the biggest things when you go through situations like this that we see is that that inhale, that fear, like, oh my gosh, everything's, crashed. And it's like, we should not have you should not be in that situation. You should not have that fear, anxiety, and those type of things. And so how do we eliminate that? And we focus on scalability processes, implementing, we use Traction. We implement Traction for businesses. I don't know if your crew.
The book Traction, yeah.
There's actually a couple books on my trusty little bookshelf here. Traction is really super amazing, but then it's also, Get a Grip and, Rocket Fuel, all kind of the same, Gino Wickman. Pick up some freaking books and start reading if you're slow. You got to start doing it.
Now, to clarify, he means if your business is slow, not if you're like slow.
If your business is slow, there's always an opportunity to be a learn, change, and be that ever-changing, like, evolving business owner. These things have been amazing. So you know what? I told you earlier I had a retraction in my business about 30% in the month of March. I will also say the month of March was also an opportunity in our business, the most amazing opportunity in our business. And we did some amazing things with Traction that, since it's like, hey, well, now we have this extra time, my entire team came together and we've developed the most amazing onboarding processes, the most amazing client experience, the process which we go through and bring clients through. And that's where we redefine our mission, our vision. We are now, our entire team, focused and aligned with that. Part of it is because, we pick up books and read it. We're working on some other things right now that, that we're working on, to kind of keep that momentum going. We have partnered with a lot of different companies lately, very large other organizations in the industry. There'll be some press releases here soon that we are help crafting some of their stuff as well. And because there's some synergies. And so you got to focus on your own company and, not have that fear, that anxiety, that, let's get through that. And so part of me, it's like education, mindset, so picking up some books and reading. So
that's awesome.
Learning how to sell, right? You have to have that pipeline too. So I got tons of books on selling. So anyway.
Have you written any books, Adam?
I have not, but I have now been asked multiple times to actually write a book. Now, I don't know, maybe Carl Palachek. He's right up the road from me.
Carl's a great guy.
I know he has all sorts of books. So, I love Nigel Moore is another. He's in Australia. I love Nigel Moore, and he's a great character. I love his group. And he just came up with a book. And so my team has been harassing me about that. So, this is one of those years, I've become really the visionary in my business. It's kind of been handed off to my CEO, Kyle, and he's kind of running things day to day, where I'm actually able to focus on, hey, I told you I had 2 hours today. You talked to me in the month of March, I wouldn't have 2 hours. No way. So it allows me to have that forethought. And so whatever you do, you have to find the time for you to be a visionary in your business. So kind of the mindset started, and, we started doing Traction in our own business about 2 years ago, but really didn't execute on it. You really have to put your hat on and think about your business. Now, we just had a virus. We experienced something pretty amazing happen to the entire world. Let's take a step back, and it's called the Moo Method. A great friend, Dean Jackson, most amazing marketer, does some really amazing stuff, and we're going to actually have him on one of our social auditors. Some people know him, and he's pretty popular. He has this Moo Method is his thing. So what if you are suddenly injured and you are only able to work 2 days a week, right? What would you do? What would you do in those 2 days if you were suddenly only able to, and you have to write a list? So write a list. All right. Let's take another step. What if suddenly you were incapacitated and you could only work 2 hours in a work week? What things would you do in your business in those 2 hours to keep it running, what would you do? You know, so write the list. Here's what I would do in the 2 hours.
Wow. Suddenly
now you have a list of items that you need to go focus on for your business. I don't know if I can say this, but you don't give a shit about anything else, right? You don't care about anything else but those things, because those things are the most core to running your business. So really get that mindset of, let me try to remove myself from the business. And then you really, not remove, like you're going to be the owner of the business, but remove yourself from those tasks so you can focus on your really core, what you are amazing at, right? So put that in perspective a little bit. I challenge people in this podcast webinar to actually do that. Spend some time. It only takes an hour. What are you going to do in 2 days? Okay. What are you going to do in those 2 hours? And then you realize this other stuff, it's not really important. It's important to keep the business going to some degree, because there's tasks that need to be done. You need to go collect money. You need to do these things. You're going to start then realizing, okay, I need to hire for that role or outsource for that role. No, you're not increasing your cost to a whole lot, but you're freeing up your time to be able to do more things, right? And that's where I'm living. I'm living up, I'm getting that more free time to focus on visionary and doing some amazing things with my company that I never would have thought was possible. So that's what we did during that month to kind of bring it back, is we really were like, okay, we're going to execute on these things that I've always thought we needed to do. And since we have free team members with free time, we started executing on it. We assigned book readings. We assigned all these different things to resources in my own organization. And yeah, so here I am.
And Adam, I got to say, so for those of you watching this, getting incredibly frustrated because, Adam's talking and then like you stop hearing him, but you see his lips moving and then the audio kind of jumps back in going faster than he was talking. I apologize. So if you haven't noticed, I'm in a different room, right? So I moved my desk. I moved my whole company office. I moved it to my bedroom because I've said before, my office was in the living room, right? So we got sick of me like banishing the whole family to their bedrooms and saying, you guys have to go work somewhere else because I've got a podcast recording. That's not fair to them. So I moved myself to the bedroom, and I'm trying to figure out how to make this look better without making it look like a bedroom. I don't want my bed in the background, like that would be super lame. But if you can't tell where I'm going with this, my Wi-Fi connection, like I didn't realize how bad it was. I've got a really fantastic router and it says I have a really great connection. I've got an RSSI of minus 61 decibels and noise of minus 92 decibels. It says my transmission rate's at 780 megabits a second. That's substantially faster than my internet. Yet, I don't have enough bandwidth or something, or maybe I just have too many dropped packets to where this is not going as wonderfully as it should. So, I apologize to those of you that are watching or listening and just getting frustrated because of the quality. I think right now would be a fantastic time for us to maybe stop, because I would like to have you come back, Adam. I'd like to have you come back once I've got my internet connection issue figured out, because I think you've got such great equipment. Like, look, guys, this guy, he's got a freaking mirrorless camera plugged into his computer, and he's using that as his webcam, which I just got my thing. I'm going to have a fancy setup here soon. I just don't have it yet. So I think the people deserve Adam at my best, if that makes sense. So Adam, is it okay if we wrap up now? I think we've got a lot of great tips, advice, everything for everyone. But I'd love to have you come back, even if it's like in a couple weeks, just to keep the conversation going, man.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem doing that. I fully get working remote and, the different internets. I get that, because I had to redo my office just a little bit, that I got my new banner back here because behind there is actually my work dry erase board. And I was like, well, everybody's going to see all the things we're working on. I don't want to share those.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's reconvene in a couple weeks. I have no problem because I got, some really great stuff. Steve, I really appreciate your time, inviting me on this thing.
I appreciate yours.
I'm here whenever you guys want to join the CW Boss Facebook group. If you have ConnectWise, just want some free help, just go to cwboss.com. That's really it. We're there. So awesome. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you. Adam and I will see you again in a couple weeks. Meanwhile, keep an eye on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page for the RocketMSP Podcast. 15 episodes I was able to get posted, Adam, in April. 15. Wow. I want to do at least that many in May. So awesome. if you or anybody guys, and this is to everyone, not just you, Adam, if you or anyone wants to be a guest on the podcast and we can have a fun, interesting conversation, just drop me a line. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, everybody.